Welcome to today's tutorial. Today we are going to be working with the Easter Wishes collection from Echo Park. Along with that, we're also going to be using the enamel dots and the frames and tags. There's a 12 by 12 sticker sheet along with, these are the 4 sheets of cardstock that I added, 2 sheets of pineapple punch from Stampin' Up, and 2 sheets of lemon lime twist from Stampin' Up. Okay, so there are 12 different pattern papers in here, and today we're going to switch things up just because this collection is almost identical in color scheme to the collection we did last week, which was called Spring Fling from Echo Park. So I did originally purchase these 2 sheets of coordinating cardstock, but they were so similar in color to last week's video that I decided to switch out this color that I have on the screen here, this coordinating cardstock, with the lemon lime twist Stampin' Up cardstock. So I just wanted to give this whole paper pack a different feel, a different color. So whenever we're looking at the color scheme of paper packs, the enamel dots is a really good way because they're a solid color and they show like the 5 prominent colors in a collection, especially when working with Echo Park. Okay, so these pages that are finished here are actually last week's pages, so that's how identical these colors are. I mean, they're fairly close, so that's why I wanted to switch things up this week with that different green color. Okay, so just to show you the difference from last week, this yellow here is a lot brighter than the yellow I used last week, and the green is very different than the green I used last week as well. Okay, and because it was so similar to last week's video, I decided to switch it up and do a new cutting guide today, doing a double page layout. Some people have been asking for a double page layout. I usually only do double page layouts when I have a lot of pictures to work with, so I figured Easter was a perfect time to do that because we always have a lot of family that come out to visit. So I have a lot of pictures for like Easter egg hunts and like just random suppers and get-togethers. Okay, so here I'm just gonna put all the pages in front of me. It's part of the process when I start picking my pages. For this cutting guide, we need our 4 sheets of cardstock, which we already have, our 4 background papers, and we also need 3 accent papers instead of 2 this time. Okay, so there, I'm just kind of putting off this, I'm just kind of picking the sides that I like right now. And I already put aside, there's 3 sheets of pattern paper that have journaling cards on them. I put them to the side. We're only going to use them if we have to. These are the 4 that I've chosen as my background papers because typically on a double page layout you want both sides to match, but it's not possible with this collection because they don't have identical papers. So I stuck these 2 together because they're kind of flowery and have a white background, and then I stuck these 2 together because they have the eggs on them and still a white base background. So those were my 4 choices for background papers. Now I need 3 papers to use as an accent. I didn't want this whole collection to be based on pinks, so I for sure used my plaid as an accent. I really wanted to use this paper that had words on it, but it was just too busy on top of the other patterns in my background, so I decided not to use that one, and I'm gonna use this pink one, but I don't want to use any more pink than this because I don't want the vibe of my paper to be totally pink. Okay, so this was one of our spare sheets as well, but it's too much pink again, so I'm gonna go back to my 3 journaling cards, see what they have to offer on the back. And I don't really like the orange or the pink again, so we're gonna use this yellow checkered paper as our 3rd accent paper. So that's what we gotta work with, and we're gonna get started with our cutting guide. We have cutting diagrams in my tutorial videos, and I just kind of want to let you know how to read them. So there's the number in top in inches, and that's gonna be the size that we're gonna cut that cut piece into. And there's a number below it in a circle. So a lot of the times we're making 4 pages or 6 pages when we're using these cutting diagrams, and all these cut pieces can sort of get very disorganized. So that number inside of the circle there represents a pile that you're going to put that cut piece into. So for a 4-page tutorial, we're going to make 4 piles, and for a 6-page tutorial, we're going to make 6 piles. So the numbers are going to be either 1 through 4 or 1 through 6. So page 1 is going to have all the cut pieces that have a circle with the number 1 inside, and so on for the 4 or 6 pages. So now we're going to go ahead and take all pieces of our cardstock, and we are going to cut 1 inch in, 1 inch from the top, and 1 inch from the bottom, and we're going to make a straight line on all 4 sides of each of these pieces of cardstock. What we're basically doing is cutting a 10 by 10 inch square out of the center of this piece of cardstock. The border is going to be put into our pile, and the center, the 10 by 10 inch center, is going to be put to the side, and we're going to be cutting it with another cutting diagram as soon as we're done cutting out all of these squares. Now we're going to go ahead and cut the background papers. Normally we cut 0.5 inches on one side and 0.5 inches on the other. This time we're cutting 0.25 inches off on one side and 0.5 inches on the other, because this time we are going to put the pages tight to the inside of our album, so we don't want a big gap on the outside of our page on that side. So I want you to really note that now we have the side that we cut 0.25 inches on is going to be the same. When it goes through the cutter, it's going to look the same as when you would put it on the page. So if it's possible for a page to look upside down or sideways, make sure that when you're putting it through the cutter, you're cutting it so that the side that you're cutting only 0.25 inches off on is in this, it looks the same way in the cutter as it will be on your page. Next page, make sure you're cutting it in the cutter the same direction that I am, because we're actually going to be using cutting this page in half and using it horizontally on the page. Okay, so now we're going to start assembling our pages. It's a little bit more difficult than just doing your normal pages, because you have to line everything up and you have to make sure that the things that are, if you have things that are lining up towards the center of the page, that they're not overlapping. Here, typically you want to have your backgrounds that are identical, but in this kit I just couldn't do that because I didn't have multiples of the same paper. So this would really work better for a kit that has like 2 sheets of 6 different designs, but it wasn't possible with this kit, and I really wanted to do a double layout this time because I have a lot of pictures to work with. And here, this plaid doesn't actually match up in the center, but that's okay, it rarely does. So it's actually going to be covered in the center of the page, so you won't actually see that. Okay, so it won't be as glaring and obvious. At first I had lined this plaid paper at the top, but I liked it better with all the green cardstock sort of bordering that white or that yellow checker paper evenly at the top there. So I brought that plaid paper down a bit. And what I like to do with double layouts is tie the pages together. So I use this yellow cardstock on both sides to sort of meld the pages together and make it look like one. Also using the plaid paper in a stripe from one end to the other to unite the pages. And then I make sure to balance it out. So with the green cardstock, I made sure to use it on the left side and on the right side. And again, with the yellow checker paper, I used it on one side and on the other side, just to balance out and make the pages look united more. Okay, so anytime I use a 3x4 photo, you could easily change that out for a journaling box, or you could change it out for a 4x6 photo instead of 3x4 photos. It's totally up to you, but I really do like using 4x6 or smaller, just because then you can take a traditional 4x6 photo size and you can trim it down and still have an economical way to use your pictures. Okay, so here we're going to get started with page 3 and 4. Again, lining up the pages, you have to make sure the edge is right to your edge is straight. And here the patterns are very different again, but with enough patterns on top of it and enough cardstock on top of it, it won't be as glaringly obvious. Here, this pink, even though I didn't really want to have a lot of pink on the page, we are just going to use this. We're going to try and line them up as best as possible. And by the time it's all said and done, I don't think it'll be as obvious, just because there's so many layers of paper here that we have. The way that this plaid paper is cut in the cutting diagram, this one, because we can see it from in the center, this pattern is okay on this page, because the way it was in the cutting diagram, you're cutting the same piece. You're just cutting, like you're cutting it in half, sort of a thing. So your pattern will never be different than the other side. Okay, so it was something I thought of when I made my cutting guide, so we don't have to worry about that as much. And here again, we're just going to try and balance out the colors with the yellow and the green cardstock. And then I placed my photo mats where I would want my photos to go. I have a different size there this time. It's a 4x4 photo area, so you could trim down a 4x6 photo, so it's still an easy photo size to work with. Okay, so my camera, I had a certain segment of my footage that got deleted. So again, here we're going to just be using our scissors, our foam tape, and our adhesive. And here I already have the page done because I lost some of my filming. And I thought about taking up all of my embellishments off and restarting just so I could show you guys, but it would wreck my page. And I figured I could just explain it to you instead. Okay, so we started here. I'm gonna tell you what I have popped up. Okay, so this Happy Easter sticker in the corner, it's popped up along with the journaling die cut here at the bottom and the Easter blessings. Along with all the red flowers. Okay, all the red flowers are popped up as well. And then we have two flowers behind this sentiment here, and I popped up the top of them, but the bottom is actually flush with the page and it's tucked underneath that accent. Okay, and that Easter Memories journaling card, it's actually from the 3x4. Actually, this flower one and that Easter Memories are both 3x4 journaling cards that we had cut out of the 3x4 journaling card page. And I just replaced a 3x4 photo area for that journaling card, and then that Easter Memories journaling card actually had a sheep on top of it, and I replaced that sheep with this Easter wishing you Easter happiness sticker from the sticker sheet, and I popped that up off of the journaling card. And then I added enamel dots, so I usually like to make triangles. So I like to make triangles with a big, a medium, and a small enamel dot. So I did that in this top corner here. I also did that along the bottom for the Easter memories journaling card area and around this flower 3x4 journaling card spot. And then I added 3 small pink ones just as an accent on my plain green cardstock at the top there, just to fill in that area and give it a little bit more on the page. Okay, so I'm really sorry that it got deleted, the footage got deleted. Without wrecking the page, this was the best that I could do to explain what it is that we had going on here. Okay, so our last set of pages was about Easter, and it was a little bit more sentimental, and it had flowers. So I envisioned just putting a lot of family pictures on there. And for Easter, for us, is a time when we have a lot of people over, and like the kids get together, and it really is a holiday that brings the family together. And I wanted this group of pages to be about the playful side of Easter. So like the Easter bunny and having like an doing egg decorating and having like an Easter egg hunt. Okay, so this is something that my kids do with their cousins. So it made it appropriate to have multiple pictures going on. And I also wanted to leave a little bit more of an area for a little bit of journaling. So here I cut up the sticker sheets. So every time, like, stickers are really hard to envision putting them somewhere because you can't just put them there because they'll stick to everything. So what I like to do is take my sticker sheet and I cut it up, and I like cut the accents and put them where I sort of think I want them to go. And I use that just to think about it and give myself some time to think about where I want to put things. So here I'm using this spare piece of yellow cardstock that we had from our cutting guide, and I cut it in half and then made a little banner. Those 2 other white looking banner pieces actually came with the frames and tags die cuts, so those ones didn't have to get cut. And then I'm just gonna put something on top of it there. And then here in this behind, or at the bottom of this 4x6 photo area, I'm gonna try and fill that space with something to do with like having an Easter egg hunt. I'm not sure yet where I want to put that on the hunt title. I really do want to put it at the bottom of that photo area just because it's on top of the green cardstock. It looks better on top of green rather than on top of the yellow cardstock. Okay, so again here, I'm kind of all over the place trying to decide where I want to put things. And sometimes you just need to do that with embellishments. You just kind of need to move everything around and see where you like it. And then with that being said though, sometimes you just need to like, sometimes you really need to just go with it. And not every page needs to be perfect, and not every page needs to be a masterpiece. Like, I mean, some of my albums have like 100 pages in them. And when people flip through and spend like probably not even 3 seconds on a page, they're not going to notice the little details or the little gap or the little things that are missing here, or that corner doesn't have much in it. Like, they're not really looking at that. So here I used this pink checkerboard background, and I put that Easter egg on top of it. And then I just framed that Easter egg with a couple of the stickers that are popped up that say eggs and bunny. So Easter eggs or Easter bunny. It's kind of what I wanted these pages to be about. And most things on this page are actually popped up. So everything on this page is popped up except for pink frame behind the Easter egg. The 3 banner pieces that I'm gluing down right now, and And I think that is it. Everything else on this page, oh, and everything else on this page is popped up though, okay? So right here, I'm putting this Easter basket on top of those banners. I just thought it would make a nice accent. And that egg hunt little title there that went with the basket, that is glued directly to the page as well. So other than that egg hunt and the pink checkerboard frame behind the Easter egg, everything else is popped up on this page. Okay, now for a journaling area, what I like to do is sometimes I'll just take like I'll print something out in like a size 10 or a 12 font, and then I'll just cut up and I'll like double space whatever it is that I'm writing. And then what I'll do is I'll cut it into strips, and I think that's what I would do with this page. And I would probably journal in either one of the 3x4 photo areas, or I would add my journaling in underneath the word Easter here that I'm putting down right now. So right underneath, between the wheelbarrow and the Easter, I think that's where I would put a little bit of my journaling strips. I really hope you guys enjoyed this double layout. Let me know in the comments below if you guys actually usually do pages that are double layouts, or if you just like to do single layouts. Doing double layouts is definitely not something that I usually do. Once in a while though, like for Easter, for an example, when I know I have lots of pictures of one event with like multiple people in it, I do like to do a double layout. So let me know if you guys enjoy doing double layouts, and we will see you guys next week. I have a bunch of new supplies that came in the mail yesterday, so we're gonna see some different brands and some new paper packs that I'm really excited about. See you guys next Friday.